So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through um, some philosophies for different types of leads. It looks like, with the exception of Richard, most of you guys might be wanting to get the ball rolling on starting to book appointments via virtual or in-home, or a hybrid approach like I do. I love getting close leads and trying to book them in-home. In-home always has a little bit of a higher closing percentage, and sometimes even a lot higher depending on how good you are on virtual sales. But your leads are limited when you're just staying around the house. And if you're an early riser like I am, I like to try to call Eastern states that are Eastern Standard Time, because being in California myself, that allows me to start calling people at 5:36 in the morning, because that's 8:39 in the morning for them, which is no big deal. And you can't, there's been some days I've had 2 or 3 applications before I would have even started calling in California. So keep that in mind. If you guys go to NIPR, you can get a non-resident license below $50 for one non-resident license, like, Ohio, Michigan, South Carolina, some of those states. So it's large states like Florida has a lot of final expense business, and a lot of people. So keep that in mind. Number one, I'm going to start off with the type of lead that mostly everybody works with when they're first starting out. Okay, the 2 types of leads are instant internet leads that are readily available, and there's a ton of them, and they're very cheap when they're aged. And that's another question. Make sure you guys are able to get to the CRM and purchase leads, okay? Because it's very important that you take advantage of some of the discounts. Speaking of discounts, everybody here should be on virtual office, which basically means that you can use every office work spots. I'm sorry, I drew a blank there. Everybody should be on work spots, okay? It's the best $99 per month you'll ever spend. You'll make it up the first time you buy a batch of leads, because with work spots, you can get up to 50% discounts on leads. And man, that means you're buying $500 worth of leads for $250, okay? One sale, you make it up, and there's a ton of leads out there that just haven't even been worked yet. And a lot of people buy the instant internet leads, the brand new for $11 at full price. And why not buy them for $550 brand new? Or you can get the aged ones, and the ones that the guy goes through, guy or gal goes through, he wasn't able to get a hold of them. Well, it's right around the corner from your house. Go knock on their door. Maybe they just don't pick up the phone. That could be your first sale just on knocking on that door, because they didn't pick up the phone and you got a 1-month-old lead. So that's something that I would highly suggest. Is lead strategy is half of script. Okay, phone script. Okay, make sure that you're just getting live leads in front of you. Remember, that's better than prospecting for leads. Leads are just people that had an interest in buying insurance. That's all it is. Instant internet leads are just life insurance. It could be for final expense. I mean, if you get an 81-year-old, they're probably not looking for $1 million term. They're probably looking for final expense. You get a 45-year-old, they're probably either looking for one of 3 things: a large insurance policy, mortgage protection, or setting up a life insurance that's going to give them a little bit of extra money for retirement. So those are some of the things that you're going to get on instant internet leads. Okay, I highly suggest. Now, Trey, our fearless leader, went on the phone 2 nights ago, and he probably put good 2.5, 3 hours in. He was calling instant internet leads. I think they were about a month old, because he was saying that about a month ago he filled this form out. Not really hammering it. He did 7 appointments in about 2.5, 3 hours. Okay, now you're going to hear people whine, nobody picked up this or that. Well, I'm sure if you're calling in the middle of the day for 2 hours, you're probably going to get a lot of voicemails. But hell, he called from 5 o'clock to 7:30 at night and booked 7 appointments. Come on, guys. Let's get people when they're home. Let's try to, call these people on good hours. Don't just call in the middle of the day and then whine about that these leads nobody picks up. They suck. Okay. So that's instant internet leads. Now, the script on an instant internet lead, pretty simple because it's not really specifying. So it would go something like this. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hi, Joe. Yeah. Hey, Joe, this is Ron. I'm not a telemarketer. Okay. I always start off with, I'm not a telemarketer. It stops a lot of people in their shoes. Every single call, no matter what the lead is. And I don't say, hello, is this Joseph Thomas? You know, right away, click. Okay. Hey, Joe, he thinks it's a friend. Yeah. Hey, Joe, this is Ron. I'm not a telemarketer. Listen, Joe, I'm just getting back to you. You requested this information online a short time ago. That way I don't have to say 30 days ago, 2 weeks ago, yesterday. I say a short time ago, you filled some information out online for just information for life insurance. Real quick, Joe, it says that you put down that your date of birth is 2/10/1954 and that you live over at 1254 East Grand Street in Anaheim, California. Is that about right? Okay, Joe. So really quick, I'm just the guy they pay to get the information out to you. My title is a field underwriter, so I'm not a salesman. My job is just to get the information out to you, make sure that you can qualify for something, then leave that information with you. Just takes about 10 or 15 minutes. Listen, Joe, are you retired, working, or disabled? I go right into setting the appointment. Okay. I don't really give them a lot of gaps. Okay. I don't argue about did they do it or not. I don't leave gaps. I don't want to get in confrontations. I'm just the delivery boy. If you keep it simple, I'm just the delivery boy. You're going to get a lot more activity. Okay. So let's not get into giving them too much. Okay. About a third of those calls that you get a hold of people, they're going to just let you book the appointment right then and there. So okay. So Joe, my job is just to get the information out to you, verify that you're alive and breathing, make sure that you're not, on life support, and get you the information that you qualify for, Joe. Now, are you retired, working, or disabled? Oh, I'm retired. Okay, Joe. Now, is there anyone else that helps you make the decisions, like a daughter or a wife or anything? No. Okay, Joe. So who's going to be the one that's going to take care of all your final arrangements? Okay, so then you ask him. I just assume that because Joe's 80. Okay, but let's just say it's somebody that's like 55, okay, or 65 or whatever. So Joe, what was this insurance the main reason that prompted you to fill this form out? Were you just looking to leave a little legacy for your family, or are you looking to cover the mortgage or something? What was your main purpose? I get a little bit of a why, because that helps to drive it a little bit. And he'll say, oh, it was for, I just wanted to pay for the final arrangements. Okay, perfect. I got that down. Okay, Joe. So are you retired, working? Okay, so you're retired. All right, Joe. So do you have any doctor's appointments or anything coming up here in the next few days? Not that I can think of. No golf rounds tomorrow morning or anything like that? No. Okay, Joe. So they have me scheduled out in the Anaheim area tomorrow. And I've got a, are you an early morning riser, Joe? And usually Joe will say something like, not that early, 8:30. Okay, Joe. So what would work better for you? I got 8 o'clock and I got a 9:30. Yeah, 8's fine. Okay, Joe. Now I got your address here is 123 Grand Avenue in Anaheim. Is there any gates or anything, or is that just a resident that I can get to your front door? Yeah, it's just a house, just a resident. You can park out on the curb. Okay, Joe. And really quick, is there an address on the curb? Sometimes it's really hard to find certain houses. No, it's right above the garage door. Okay, Joe. Okay, Joe, can you do me a favor? Do you have a pencil or pen handy? Okay. So I need you to write this down. My name is Ron, and we have our appointment. What time did we say, Joe? 8 o'clock. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay. And I need you to write down this code number because that'll verify so I can put you in the system and find you. It should be queued right up for you. It's F316, X is an X-ray. You got that? Okay. Now you guys can use any code you want. It just feels more official to him when there's a code. It's something that seems to work better. I like to do that. And when I get there, sit down with him, I always give him the code. Okay. So, and then you book it and you say, okay, Joe, I got a little silver Honda. Can you make sure that, that I can get to the front door? No gates locked on me or anything like that. No, you can get there. Okay, Joe. And how do you remember your appointments usually? Do you usually put them up on the refrigerator or put them in your phone? No, I just remember them. Okay, Joe. Well, if you could maybe put this on your countertop or something, this note that I'm gonna be there, because that'll put a monkey wrench in my schedule if I drive to your house and you're not home, okay? There's a lot of other families that need my help. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, Joe. Okay, guys, so that's like an instant internet lead. Okay, you're gonna get objections like, oh, I just wanted the info, oh, I just wanted a quote, this wanted this. Whatever they say, you know, your whole motivation is to try to get to the house on those local ones. You know, there's gonna be times that they're gonna say something along the lines, well, I just want a quote, I don't wanna meet with anybody. Nobody can come to my house, it's a gated community and da 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 da. Okay, say, okay, I can perfectly understand that, Mary. Now, I do need to verify a little bit more information since we're going to do this over the phone. It just takes 10 or 15 minutes. We can knock this out right now. Are you available? Okay. Most of the time they'll say yes. It's like, boom, you got a virtual appointment. Okay. And then I can just tell you the biggest difference on a virtual appointment and face to face. I always ask, do you have Zoom or FaceTime? And they usually, or we can do this just over the phone. And if they say just over the phone, then just make sure you start it off by getting them your credentials. I always send over a collage that's, you know, I got a collage almost for every state. It has my business card, it has my license for that state, and it has our credibility form that has all the carriers on it. Okay. Seems to work well. When I send over the E&O, it just confuses them. I used to send that, but I got too many people questioning, what is this? So I just send those three things, and that always seems to be perfectly, you know, adequate for them. So that is the instant internet leads. Okay. Most of my newer people like to call aged either final expense or aged internet leads. Okay. So I have had the most success. The real old final expense leads, like 3, 4, 5 years old. There's a ton of them. They're like $1.50 each. I don't think I've ever bought 100 and didn't sell 2 or 3 of them. You know, and at $1.50, $150 for 100 of them, how can you go wrong when your average is about 700 to 900? You know, final expense a little lower than mortgage protection, but how can you go wrong if you can sell 2 for $1,500 for $150? You know, you just have to work. So for the final expense, there's 2 routes that I'll go. Usually I'll go this route. So it'll go something of it's more of a customer service approach because a lot of them, it's been 4 or 5 years. So I seem to do better with the customer service approach, and I'll call them and it'll go ring. Hello. Hi, Mary. Yes. Oh, hi, Mary. I don't know if you remember us. We helped to look at the final expense insurance about 4 or 5 years ago, and you were looking into it. We helped service that for you. Not quite sure, you know, where you are and what time. We just needed a courtesy call back to you. Many of our clients recently have been calling us to increase their coverage because of the gigantic increases in mortuary costs. And a lot of people are calling us to increase, like if they only had 5, they recently had to do the cremation services for a relative, and it was 8 or 9,000. So they wanted to increase their coverage maybe up to 10. And we have a lot of discounts going on right now because of the COVID and because of the economy. Is that something we can help you look at this time? And they're going to say, you know, no, we're not in. Click. Who cares? It's $1.50 lead. Or they're going to say, you know, you're just looking for those 3 or 4 people saying, you know what? It's amazing that you called me. I was just talking to my daughter. We really do need more coverage. We buried my brother and it was $17,000 to bury him. And I only have $10,000 of coverage. Man, I made those calls for like 2 hours and I had 2 applications, 4 or 5-year-old more final expense leads. So it's more of a customer service approach. Take away the salesman. It's an easy call. You don't have a lot. Don't worry about the hangups. You have to have the right mindset. Okay. When you're calling older leads for $1.50, laugh and throw it away when they hang up on you or are rude. Okay. Now, definitely, I forgot to say, definitely when you're calling any type of lead and you're starting out with those type of leads, 2 things you want to do. Okay. I touched on it. You got to have the right mindset. You got to have a lot of leads, and you have to be willing to call 3 times in a row. Get out of your comfort zone and call those 3 dials in a row. And then look at their age. If they're 55, 60 years old, don't just call them in the middle of the day and give up on it. Call that person at 7 p.m. Call that person on Saturday mornings. Okay, there's a good chance they're a 9 to 5 worker, and they're not going to pick up while they're at work. Okay, so keep that in mind when you segment your leads. Try to call the seniors during the middle of the day. Don't just call 9 to 5 aged people. Okay. The other route that I would take is not just the customer service. When you get an aged lead that's like 3 months old, 6 months old, 1 year old, which are great leads, two things that you're going to come into play. One of those is that nobody ever got in touch with those people, and they just called them a couple times. Somebody will buy a set of leads and they'll go through it. They get 50 leads and they go through 30 of them. They make a lot of sales, and then the next batch comes in and the next batch comes in. They never get to 20 or 30, 40% of their leads. So 30-day, 60-day olds are gold. And compared to what people paid brand new, like the final expense mailers are around $42. You can pick up those bad boys for $12, $10. I love those 1 month old, 2 month old, 3 month old final expense leads. Okay. So the way you call those is two things. If they're just 1 month old, just call them as if it's a new lead. Okay. If it starts hitting that 2, 3, 4 month old, so it goes like, ring, hello, hi, Mary. Oh, hi, Mary. I'm so glad you picked up. We've been trying to get a hold of you for some time now. I'm the supervisor of the final expense in senior benefits department. And a little while back, you filled out a form about the benefits for whatever state you're in. Let's say it's California. The benefit information for California citizens only. It was the form where you put down that your date of birth is 2/15/1961 and that you live at 123 Grand Avenue. Does that ring a bell? Oh yeah, yeah. I'm so sorry. It came to my desk. We do a quarterly audit, and it showed that we hadn't been able to get this information out to you, and we're liable. So we need to set that up. Are you retired, working, or disabled? Oh, I'm disabled. Okay, now are you still at the 123 Grand Avenue? It's been a couple months. Oh yeah, honey. And then they're the nicest people you ever can set an appointment on when you go about it that way, because they know they haven't been forgotten. Okay, so that's the final expense. Just let me tell you about the final expense leads. They're the mailers. Okay, you can get them off the CRM. Some seniors don't read the whole form. They only read the big black letters on top that says benefit information for California citizens only, or benefit information for Arizona citizens only. People think it's some kind of a free benefit. Okay, I hand it to MailPro. They get a lot of responses on them, but people don't read the rest of it where it says affordable final expense insurance, or, the smaller print. I don't care. We do benefits. Every type of benefit. If they ask you, well, what kind of benefits? When you're there, well, we do all kinds of benefits. We do critical illness. We do, disability, final expense, cremation, burial, you name it. Oh, Medicare. Oh, okay. So, but I'm not sure where we can discount you, but I got to go through some questions, Mary, to see where the needs are and what benefits would be a benefit to you. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. So that's how you handle those. Okay. Benefits. If you start, some people say, no, I say life insurance right off the bat. Well, good luck. Okay. Your percentages will be low because they thought it was some benefits. Okay. So if MailPro is smart enough to put benefits on there, why are we going to try to be smarter than the $1 million marketing companies? Let's be smart about this and go right along with it and get into their house. And I can tell you, when Ali first started, it was tough the first few months until he learned that. And then he was #1 in California on final expense after he learned that little, secret that MailPro already knew about. Okay. So make sure that when you do final expense mailers, you're the benefits guy. I'm with the benefits department. I'm the benefit guy. Okay. Keep talking benefits. That's what they're thinking. 90% of them. Okay. So that's it on the final expense. That's it on the instant internet leads. Now let's talk about mortgage protection. Mortgage protection, there's a lot of aged mortgage protection leads. Okay. There's not a lot in some states. There still is, but not quite as much brand new mortgage protection. And just starting off, most of you will probably want to go after the aged ones, which are great. Okay. So on the mortgage protection, a lot of the ones that have become aged are people that are a little bit more up in age, because I think all sales guys out there, they're going to put the ones on top that are a little bit younger, because it in their minds, most of them, some people out there don't like to try to sell mortgage protection for a $300,000-$400,000 mortgage to somebody that's like 70 plus, because it's pretty pricey. Okay. So you're going to get a lot of those. You just have to be smart about it. I already this month, I've probably done 4 or 5 critical time periods, which is, the critical time period coverage plan that's discounted, that's specially designed for seniors. That's kind of the plan that I do. And basically you have to talk to the senior. So the way you set that appointment is hello. Hi, Nora. Yes. Hi, Nora. This is Ron. I'm not a telemarketer. Okay. I'm with the mortgage protection department and a liaison with Wells Fargo Bank. Liaison is somebody that works in between 2 companies. Okay. So I'm the representative for the mortgage protection on behalf of Wells Fargo, because that's the mortgage that you have. I don't say that to the people, I'm saying that to you guys. So that's why we say liaison, and it makes them feel like you're part of the whole package. Okay. It includes you. All he uses that, and he's been very successful with that. So I'm the liaison, for the mortgage department and mortgage protection department and Wells Fargo Bank, who you have your mortgage for $180,000 that you recently did. Now, Nora, I need to verify a few things. You have down that your date of birth is March 10th, 1965. Is that correct? Okay. And then also, or let's say 55. Okay. And then it also shows here that you live at 123 Grand Avenue in Anaheim. Is that correct? Okay. So Nora, I'm the senior underwriter that's been assigned to help you. And then my job is just to get the information. Well, somebody already came by there and I'm not interested. Okay. They'll usually say something like that when you call a 2-3 month old mortgage protection lead. And I'll say something, well, Nora, that's no problem at all. Obviously you probably filled out multiple forms, and thank God you did, because you got me. And most folks that, are over 65 with a $400,000 mortgage can't afford the full payoff. But let me just ask you this. Did they tell you about the critical time discount program? And well, what is that? Well, it covers enough let me just ask you this. Do you have any other coverage in place right now? No. Okay. So have you ever had to sell a house before in your past? And they'll say, yeah. Okay. Did it sell right away, or have you ever had it to where it took almost a year to make a sale? Yeah. And most of the people will understand, they know what you mean. Because in a soft market, Nora, it could take 6 months, sometimes a year to sell. And then after it does sell, then Mr. Inspector comes by and does an inspection, and he finds out that you have dry rot, that you have to fix this, fix that. And it always seems to be some cost to sell the house. And that way you can sell at the top price. So the critical time period can cover 6 months of mortgage payments and another 6 months or repairs, or 12 months of coverage and repairs. And that way, who's going to be the one, Nora, that's going to be taking care of all your, getting the house sold, if that's the case? Or are they going to continue to live in the house? No, they'll sell it. That's my kids. Okay, so the critical time period, I'll tell you what, Nora, let me get you a little bit more information about that. I just need to swing by. Now, are you, obviously you said you were retired, right? Okay, yes. Do you have any doctor's appointments coming in the next couple of days? Okay, and then I'll go on the same way I said all the other appointments, just like that, and go into it. But sometimes you have to get them off of that negativity by saying there's hope for your kids. And that's how you sell the mortgage protection critical time period. And I do talk about it over the phone because I can't get them out of that negativity, because all they can hear is that $900 payment for $400,000. That's what they think mortgage protection. They think it's pay off or nothing else. Okay, so I got to get them out of that. So you're going to get a few of those. Every one of these calls in the hybrid approach, except for the ones when you call out of state, but you want to try to get appointments closer to home, because here's the biggest difference. When they don't pick up, you can knock on their door. and bring the lead with you and show them and say, I've been trying to get a hold of you. It's very important. So try to shoot for stuff in your area first, within a 2 to 3 hour range from your area, and attack those. You'll have more success when you're first starting out, or even in your first year or two. That's what I recommend. Number two, make sure that you bring the lead with you, and bring door knock notices, delivery notices, and you can get those from the FFL store. You can go to teamffl.com and you can scroll down and you see the store and merchandise. You can buy those, buy a pack of them. Those things are great. You get callbacks on those door knocks that never picked up the phone. Now, word of advice, make sure you guys all keep a dial tracker so you can go back and you can look at how you're doing on those types of leads. Make sure you put the dates, make tick marks every time you make a call, make a tick mark. You know, if you make the appointment, put the circle or the X or whatever you guys, you know, I think it says on there, what style you want to do, but you want to track your calls and your dials. And then you also want to learn how to do effective voicemails. Now, everything we do is delivery. Okay. So when you're calling, it's delivery, delivery, delivery. Why don't we, after making 9, 10, 12 dials, you know, you call them 3 times in the morning, 3 times at noon, 3 times in the evening. I'm telling you what I do on the 9th dial. I leave a voicemail, and the voicemail goes something like this. Let's just say it's a older mortgage protection lead, 3-month-old. Hey, Joe, this is Ron. I have a delivery for you. Been trying to call you. I need to verify your address. I've got on this form that for this request that you put in, it's 12-something-something-8 Grand Avenue, Monrovia. Can you give me a call back at area code 951-809-1963? My name's Ron. I want to sound like a disgruntled delivery guy. I don't want to sound, hi, Joe, this is Ron with the mortgage protection. You fill the form out, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to call back. But if you have a delivery, everybody wants to know what the delivery is. You'll get callbacks. Word of advice. This is what I do. I take my phone. I take a picture of the lead. I save the picture in their contacts as their face picture on contacts, and I put their name. So I'll put, like, let's say John Brown, mortgage protection, Monrovia, and their phone number. So when he calls back, I've got his lead on focus in my phone. It's also in pictures. I've got his name. I've got everything. So if I'm in the line at Target or at dinner or anything, I can step away and I can say, hey, John, thanks for calling back. Hey, listen, really quick, I just want to verify your address. I've got 12-something-something-9. I can't read it. Oh, that's 12459. Okay, Grand Avenue, Monrovia. Hey, Joe or George or whatever. So they have me delivering this information. I'm just the field underwriter. Are you working, retired? And then I go right into the appointment set. Okay. That's one way of getting hold of people. That's my voicemail that I leave, but I only do it on the 9th call. Okay. So try that. That should really help you guys out. Be diligent about leaving the contact information on your phone. Okay. The truth of this whole job is attitude, expectations, and tracking. I think, especially when you're first, the attitude, you have to have that attitude, whereas these are not sales, these are leads. All you're doing is helping people, that little helpful nudge to get what they need to get. Okay. They already know that they want insurance. They just need that little nudge. Don't start telling yourself anything otherwise. Okay. You start rationalizing, oh, this is fraud. Oh, it's not. Okay. I've gone down those roads and I look deeper into it. People just fill stuff out and they forget. I don't remember what I filled out 3 days ago, let alone a month ago. And my first thing is like I'm on the defense. So just be sensitive to that. Just don't worry about it. Just throw them away. Go to the next one. It's unbelievable the profit margin on what 100 leads cost on aged leads and what the profit margin on when you just sell 2 or 3 of them. But you got to work. Okay. Number 2, dial activity. It should be your goals. Everybody says, oh, I'm going to write 10,000. You know what? Why don't you make 500 dials in the next 2 days? And dials aren't that hard. Dial, voicemail. Next one. So if it goes to voicemail, you just go next, redial. Just keep redialing right across. Okay. It doesn't take that long. 2 to 3 hours, you'll have 250 dials. But I swear I'll have agents call me and say, well, I made a lot of calls. I made 67 calls today and didn't get a hold of anybody. This lead suck. Well, okay, so what'd you do the second hour? You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, this is you got to put the effort in to get the deals. There's a chat on the very top under the more with the 3 little dots. You guys have a question, feel free to type it in or unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. I'll open this up for 5 or 10 minutes more for some questions. Anybody have any? Anybody have any objections that you just are having like a cat got your tongue? You're just struggling with objections or anything like that I can help you with?
How about already got that taken care of? I feel like like once they like like, oh I'm just the guy who delivers it, and then like if they all know like it's insurance or whatever, they're just like boom right off the top. I already got that taken care of, and then it just kind of stumps me, sort of like I'm like
okay
and then I'm like,
oh, okay, Joe, so perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. That makes our job a lot easier. They didn't notate if I needed to get the information or do our required policy review. I assume you already got the policy in the mail, right? Okay. Which one of our agents helped you with that? You remember? Oh, you don't remember his name? Did you not receive the policy? Oh, wow. So it doesn't sound like he did a lot of personal touch. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be in there. Are you retired or working? I'm going to be in the area. Have your policy out. And if you don't, the name of the company, we'll do a 3-way call, make sure we get that policy for you and go over it just to make sure that you got all the benefits added to that policy. That's all. Not a salesman. I'm a supervisor. I just need to make sure that I sign off on the required policy review that we have to do.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, if people are sheep, they'll say, oh, okay, that would be nice. I really do need some help with this. Okay, so you're not going to get them all, but I'll tell you what, 30 to 50%, I still book it on that same one. Another one is, I already had 2 people come by. Okay, well, Joe, it looks like you obviously, I assume that you filled out multiple forms, and that was to get multiple offers. Thank God that I got a hold of you, because with my wisdom and experience and having probably a lot more carriers than the previous guys, sometimes it's really good to get 3 opinions or offers. There's a lot of unscrupulous agents out there just going for really short, cheapy term policies, and that isn't the most value to clients. And I'd like to meet with you or go over on the phone what your options are. What do you prefer?
Yeah, I like that one. Multiple options.
Yeah, obviously you filled out multiple forms, and that was to get multiple options. Is that correct? Okay. Now, if the guy already had 2 other people out there, he's probably worn out from having people come over. So I give him that's why I give him that little out, that option. Well, since I got you on the phone, what would it be for 200,000 for a 10-year term? You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ask him, so well, let me ask you a few more questions instead of just going apples against apples, that even though that apple might not be the best value for you, Joe. I noticed that you live in a really nice neighborhood. So obviously you're into things that have value because you live in a very nice home in a nice area. Do you drive, what kind of car do you drive, Joe? BMW. Okay. So the short terms are usually the cheapy product. The kind of value that we might be able to get you is something with cash value, like a whole life or even a universal life. And that way, 90% of the time, you get at least 75% of your money back on a universal life of what you put in on payments. So you're not just blowing the money. Oh, I like that. You're just trying to get a peak of interest. I'm not trying to sell something, but I'm trying to get them to spend. I don't just want to be another guy that try to battle these guys that are doing the bait and the switch with a 10 or 15-year term.
Yeah.
Or you can just say, well, why do they only go a 10-year? Do you have longevity in your family, Joe? Yeah, my mom lived to be 96, and my dad's still living, and he's 97. He's like 60, 65 or something like that. And say, so it sounds like, are you in pretty good health? Oh yeah, I'm perfect. I play golf every day, tennis. Okay, so Joe, why are you getting a 10-year? Are you only going to be in the house 10? I don't know. He says that's all I could qualify for. See, they're agents that are unscrupulous, trying to get the cheapy deal to try to get something to beat all the competition. Well, he said it can renew. Yeah, but did he tell you that the payment's going to probably almost double at the end of 10 years? No, he didn't say that. Damn it. Can you come over? I had a guy tell me to come over. He asked me to come over.
Nice.
So sometimes you just kind of have to, talk to people. It's not just a robotic script. I don't like to talk too much. I like to keep it short. Most of the appointments, 90% of them, are that short, sweet, get over to do a delivery. Keep it short and simple, less is more. But there's those occasions when you're trying to handle try to handle an objection or something. Sorry if you guys can hear the dog in the background. He's a very loud barker. So any other questions, guys, or any other objections or anything that didn't seem clear? Mark, what kind of leads have you start by any leads yet, or any looking at anything? Need any since I got you guys on the phone, I got 5 minutes left. Any need for lead strategy?
Are you talk to me, Mark Marmerstein?
Yeah. Hi, Mark.
Hi. I haven't gotten approved by my carriers yet.
Okay. So
On
should be any day now.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Have Steve, have him set you up with Prosperity. They only take 2 or 3 days, sometimes 2 days. And Prosperity, just so you guys know, Prosperity is probably the best. They can do a voice application, 100%, no signatures for the client, and they also accept Direct Express MasterCard. You just got to learn how to do it, right, Richard? And then they also will do one of the few carriers that will allow somebody with neuropathy or retinopathy from diabetes complications, as long as the wording, and I've had many of those, as long as they haven't had a diabetic coma or amputation or hospitalized because of the neuropathy or the retinopathy. They can be on gabapentin, which is a Neurontin, which is a nerve pain medicine. And once in a while, you'll get somebody like who's on, diabetes medicine, like insulin or something. And then you'll run it through Americo and it gets declined. And then you find out they also take gabapentin for sciatica. Even though it wasn't a complication, it'll still get declined. The computer thinks that it's that they have, complications for diabetes. So go through Prosperity. They'll ask each individual medication this person takes, and it'll ask you the question, has this person had a diabetic coma, amputation, or hospitalization? And you say no, boom, it's approved for preferred. So you want to keep Prosperity in your arsenal. They'll save you on those kind, so you don't have to go grade it or something with somebody else. Or and then Mark, let's make sure that you get, if I were you, I would try to get like a lot. Have Steve give you a lot of his old final expense leads. Mark, where do you live again?
By Marina Del Rey.
Okay, yeah. And I can get you some to a lot of older Orange County leads and final expense type leads. And just don't even worry about how old are they. Just try to do the, the courtesy, the customer service courtesy call. Hey, get them before they call somebody else. How many you got? I'm sure if Richard, you probably noticed this. You call back one of your customers and, they said, oh, we added, or they'll call, or you find out they are charging back their policy or canceling it. Oh, because we needed more coverage. So we did it all in one policy, 10,000. And they went with like Mutual of Omaha and you did a Miracle policy, where you could have done it if you would have called them and talked to them, you could have saved that deal and did another 5 with Mutual of Omaha or something. So let's make sure that, we're talking to people before somebody else snags them, because those people are not going to, 50% of the time, they're not going to call you. They're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's so, that's so powerful. Just just reaching out. I just submitted that policy to Transamerica, and a year ago, I was this same lady. It was just an instant internet lead. If I didn't just reach out to her yesterday, I wouldn't have wrote that policy today.
Because she was already searching for another policy, right?
Yeah, like she I don't even think she could get any other policy. She doesn't have a picture ID. She only has like a paper ID. And Transamerica is the only one that would basically accept that. But if I just didn't reach out to her yesterday, just keep in touch, like I just let me try to. I didn't even know about Transamerica. I just called people that I know I haven't helped yet, and it was just that little thing.
Yep. So guys, last thing that I want you, go to teamffl.com. Okay. Or I'm sorry, myteamffl.com. Please utilize every single thing on there. It's unbelievable about the amount of stuff that's on there. It should be your go-to for all your training, all your forms, all your cheat sheets, underwriting guidelines, all get connected with all the calls that we have. I mean, make this serious. I mean, get involved, get connected. Richard, you should be on a Discord. I pay $100 a month to have you guys have Underwriting Genie, and it's on one of the blogs.
That's the only thing that's going through that's coming in automatically on my phone 24/7. From like 3 o'clock in the morning, I look at every single thing on the Discord, because somebody asks questions and they get the answer, and I have the answer now, and that's the only thing I have.
You learn from that
24/7. Oh, 100%.
And when you have an issue with a client that has a weird disease or something, instead of trying to spend, like you're at the table, instead of spending 20 minutes trying to figure out what the hell to write for this person, go on Discord, go on the Underwriting Genie, put in the parameters for that client, develop everything, date, when they were diagnosed, date, what medications they're on, smoker, non-smoker, weight, all those kind of things. Put all that stuff in there if they're borderline on all that stuff, and let them tell you who to go with. Okay. So definitely utilize everything you can on myteamffl.com. Okay. And that's what I'll leave you guys with. Feel free to contact me on the site anytime you want help or anything. And we're all a team, and doesn't matter if you're on my team or not. We're all under the coast to coast roof, and we'll all help you, including Stephen Yee over there at Sky Point. Steve. All right. So you guys have a great day. Let's get it going. Ramp up, get those dialing sheets out. Let's start making 250 dials. That's going to get you your goals. The activity goals will get you the numbers. Don't think about anything else. Don't get depressed if you only write one policy. Tomorrow's a new day. You can get on the phone and get 250 dials in, and the next day and the next day. And pretty soon you'll start to see 8 policies. I put the pedal to the metal more this week than any other week, and I'm at 8 so far, and I've got two more virtual appointments today. So hopefully I can get up to 9 or 10 for the week. So, all right, guys, I'm out. Have a good one.
Awesome.